And I see this a lot with people in the spiritual community who don't want to be confrontational because they feel confrontation is low vibration. So what they'll do is when somebody does something that's subtle that doesn't feel good, they don't have the skill set yet to articulate it. So they'll go meditate on it or go, do whatever it is
Right.
that they want to do. They'll
Yeah.
spiritually bypass the scenario. And then it
But
keeps
not dealing with the
happening.
issue.
No, not dealing with the issue. So it keeps happening, keep
Yeah.
happening. And then the person finally blows up and explodes because you can only take that so many times and suppress it for so long before it becomes explosive. And so they explode. And then the people around them go, oh, well, look how spiritual you are. Like, maybe this is a
Yes.
person that's really delving into Buddhism and meditation and mindfulness, and they're
I
going
love
to
pulling that
go to
spiritual
helping
card.
us. Yes, yes. Then the attacker will say, well, look how spiritual you are, which is abusive. It's a very toxic, manipulative thing to say, but we hear this a lot. So then this person sits in shame and is like feeling shame that they exploded in the way that they did, but also is internalizing what that person just said to them and is seeing themselves as a fraud. And then will give up the path and say, well, I haven't earned this path. Like, I'm not good enough to be on this path. And that's the dynamic that I see a lot. And
All
so
the
I
time.
I
All the
see
time.
programming. Yeah.
I'm sure you
Yes.
have as well.
Yes.
I
Yes.
haven't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I like for if this is you, if this is, a viewer, if this is you, something that you resonate with that's happening, what I'd like to remind you is that you're still human. Give yourself grace. On doing the inner work and on the journey, on the path, is not instantaneous. It's not an Amazon next day delivery. It doesn't happen instantaneously. It takes time to deprogram and unlearn those behaviors. And you are worthy of the spiritual practice. You are worthy of moving into whatever mindfulness practice calls you. And it takes time to cultivate. And it takes time to get to the place of loving yourself so much that you catch that subtleness and you don't feel like it's confrontational to meet that person with compassion and say, hey, I just want to sit in this for a minute. You just said this thing, and this is what came up for me. And I was wondering if I could understand where this is coming from and maybe what you meant by that. Or if I'm understanding this correctly, can I mirror this back to you? Can I reflect this back? And really understand where that person's coming from. And if it's still not feeling in alignment, there's absolutely nothing wrong. And it's full discernment to say, this doesn't feel right for me. This relationship doesn't feel right. And I'm not going to be in a relationship where there's this level of toxicity and hurt.
And this, what you just said, when you confront people like that, and it's not a confrontation in terms of harshness, it's just like, hey, like you said, I'm feeling this, you know, or
Accountability.
what it's accountability. Yeah. That is where the gaslighting begins. That is where they will switch up on you. That's when they will attack you. And this is where the crazy making happens. If you're not really anchored in your truth, and if you don't know who you are, and if you've not done enough of your inner work, you'll buy into that. And then you stay in these cycles. Once you've done enough of your inner work and you see, and like, we've been talking about discernment throughout, which I love. When you have that discernment, when you see the truth, you're like, not happening. You're not gonna gaslight me here. I know my truth. You can evade accountability, you can do whatever, but is the sword that I die on, as I say.